Hello, this is Emme Lentino, and you're listening to Audiotravels with Henry Barchet.
Hello and welcome. You are listening to Audiotravels. In this episode, we will travel to New Zealand to meet singer-songwriter Emme Lentino. Emme has been to the show before. This time, we will talk about a special kind of travel, time travel, because Emme's latest release is called Time Machine.
Let's travel in a time machine, back to a time we believed life was everything it could be. Space and time collide, let's go and find us again.
Welcome, Emme. It's great to have you on the show. Emme, I've read that since you were a child, you've been interested in time travel. What is your fascination with traveling through time?
I think as a child, just listening to my father speak about time travel, and I would ask him so many questions. I remember being about 6 years old and just going over and over about, is it possible? And what happens if tomorrow I decide I want to go back in time? And, will you find me? And all these different things, trying to build a time machine. I think I did that when I was about 7 or 8 in the front part of our home. It was a bit of a disaster. I don't think cardboard boxes were anywhere close to time machines. But yeah, just the fascination, I think, of also dimensions of time and the fascination of, just had so many questions at a young age. And I think even in my adulthood, just really fascinated by the concept. And I think all of us have at one time or another maybe had some regrets or wondered if we had taken that promotion or if we hadn't moved to that place. All of these kind of questions about time, and it kind of sparked this interest in perhaps writing a song about it as well.
So, if you could travel in time, would you rather travel to the past or to the future?
That's a great question. I think I would love to travel to the future.
So you didn't want to change the past and go different ways?
Well, there are things I would love to change, for sure. However, if it was either the past or the future, I think it would be great to see the future. I think that would be quite fascinating. The year 3000.
Your new song is called Time Machine, which of course is also the title of the famous book by H.G. Wells. Did the book inspire you to write the song?
Yes, I've read it, and I've also seen lots of movies on time travel as well. It's always fascinating just to see, especially when you read the book and then when you see what people decide, what sort of visuals people put together in film. It's very fascinating. And then the soundtrack, which of course makes it come to life even more. Yeah.
Now, what is your song about?
Is about if we could go back and fix our mistakes, or if we could go into the future and start something new, could we save ourselves with words of love and hope? And what would that look like? And that concentrating on what is possible, I believe, created this kind of melodic uplift, I hope. At least when I was writing it, that's how it felt for me. I felt really encouraged and positive. And then when I was able to record it, the same thing happened. Now I'm sharing it with you and your beautiful listeners. So it was an opportunity to bring a positive and uplifting and encouraging message in a time that I believe that we all kind of need a hug. We all need to be told that we're loved. And I hope that I can do that for someone today with this song.
The making of the song has to do with travel as well, because it started in Oregon in the US, but part of the lyrics were recorded in Los Angeles and part in New Zealand, where it is now released. Tell me about your journey.
Yes, so in the very end of 2016, I was visiting my parents in Oregon, and we were traveling through the snowy mountains, and Dan Antonovich, a good friend of mine and producer who I work with a lot, sent me an instrumental track, and there was no title. It was just, hey, open pop song, and I listened to it, and my father was driving, and the kids were, really little. It might have been like 3 and 4, and they were, snoozing in the back. And I just was overcome with these words. All the words from the beginning of the song to the end came to me all in one go. And I couldn't write fast enough. And I was so excited. And then I quietly sang the melody with the lyrics that I came up with into my iPhone. And then I sent them to Dan and I said, I don't know, maybe we could record this in a month's time when I'm in LA. And that's what we did. And then from there, the song was recorded, but it wasn't finished. It was maybe a rough cut, if you will. And it kind of sat on what they call a music shelf. It was even lost for a period of time, where the guys in the studio, I think it hadn't been labeled with the same name that I had thought it was. And so we couldn't find it for quite some time. But it was one of those songs, Henry, that I really believed in. And I was like, I have to find the song. I really want to finish it. And at the end of 2022, so just a few months ago, the song, of course, had been found, no worries. And I really wanted to add the current Emme to the song, because I have changed a lot. And, in almost 7 years, a lot has happened to me. And I felt differently than I did at that time. And so the Emme from the past and the Emme now sang together. So I actually did all my backing vocals, and I've done them here in New Zealand in my living room. And that was an incredible experience to be able to kind of like time travel with music. And the portal was the melody, and it was just this incredible experience. And then we got it mixed and mastered, and here it is. So yeah, I never thought back in 2016, I never thought that this was going to be the story, that it was going to take so long. But I'm so thankful, because it was the right time. It was the right time to release it. And I feel that in my spirit.
Is New Zealand, the country where you live, a country that inspires dreams of time travel?
I think so. I think that there's a lot of, there's so many beautiful areas of New Zealand, and there's so many places to go driving. I mean, when I drive places, or I should say when I'm a passenger, I feel like my mind can travel freely, and I'm just taking in all of the scenery and all of the things I'm experiencing, and it does ignite my imagination, and I'm really thankful for that. And I can also get inspired just by walking around. So yeah, I would say there's definitely inspiration here for time travel.
Emme, thank you very much for being on Audiotravels.
Thank you so much, Henry, and thank you to all your listeners.
You'll find Emme songs on Spotify and all major streaming platforms around the world. If you want to listen to Emme's previous interviews, simply use the Audiotravels time machine and visit our archives on iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Samsung Free, Apple Podcasts, or any of your favorite streaming platforms.
This is Emme Lentino, and I give Henry Barchet permission to play Time Machine on Audiotravels.
Gentle and kind, speed of light. Let's go and find